Wanbo sent me their brand new Vali 1 projector to check out. An apparent all-in-one home theater system that can replace your TV, streaming device, and speaker system at an affordable price. With so many bad projectors on the market that are sold at a cheap price with poorly advertised specs, we really need to find out, is the Vali V1 good or bad tech? I make weekly videos helping consumers like you pick through the bloated tech market to find products that are actually worth your money. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button right down below. The Vali 1 is a 1080p full HD projector equipped with up to 900 lumens. With that bright of light, this should be able to be used both at night and during the day with partial light. It maxes out at around 130-inch screen, which, let's be honest, most of us in our house don't have a wall that big enough to start with, so that's more than enough. Best of all, it's equipped with Android TV 11 OS, which means you don't have to plug in an external streaming device to start using different apps. In the box, you get a few things: the physical projector itself, your power cord, a replacement filter, the lens cover, and a very basic Android TV remote. One of the first things I noticed with the Vali V1 is the high quality build. Most of these projectors are made with a fairly cheap quality plastic, and often you can notice little areas where you're like, that thing's probably not gonna last that long. In this case, it feels pretty good. On the front, you're gonna notice a sleek design and the front-facing lens, equipped with the sensor. On the sides, you have the built-in speakers and ventilation. And lastly, on the back, the ports. You have a headphone jack, one HDMI, and one USB port. This is my first criticism. Always put more ports. Now, for the HDMI, okay, you are forgiven. This has built-in Android TV, so sure, plug in your PS5, and you don't have to touch it or get an HDMI extender. But for the USB port, why not put 2 of them or 3 of them? I might want to connect a keyboard remote and also have a USB drive or hard drive connected at the same time. This means I have to get an adapter. Just put more ports. There's enough room for it. It's a big enough device. Now, lots of projectors have built-in stands, but one thing I love about what Wanbo did here is they actually integrated the power supply directly into the stand. With the ability to move this up to 200 degrees, I both like this stand and don't in some ways we'll go over a little bit later in the video. All right, so let's talk about how easy it is to set this up and start using streaming apps, because it really only takes a few minutes. First thing we need to do is plug the projector into its power source. And this is where you can really see the usefulness of this base power source. So let's just plug it in right here. Downside, they should have included a longer power cord. Most places in my house, I'm gonna need an extender, like this one, and there we go. Time for your remote. They don't include batteries, so you will need to go pick up your own AAAs. Now you just need to have your projector screen ready, or preferably have a white wall. This will work fine with that as well. And then just press that power button. You'll notice your projector is going to automatically focus and the Wanbo startup screen will pop up. Now you're gonna have to go through the Android TV setup process, which basically just involves you inputting your Gmail account, setting up your Wi-Fi, and installing some basic apps. This is one thing I love about this projector. It runs Android TV 11. This means Netflix, this means any major Android-based app, Prime Video, Disney+, and sideloading. Android TV has a really simplistic operating system, and that's why it's always been one of my favorites. All the apps are easily lined up right as soon as you get on the main screen, and there are a ton of settings and different ways you can customize it. Now, of course, yes, I wanted to see, can we install third-party apps on this? Because a lot of you guys are going to want to do that. So I went to the App Store, installed Downloader, went to my own website's download page, and yeah, we had no problem at all installing and running Kodi directly on the Wanbo projector. But I did notice one thing: they cheaped out on storage. When you account for the operating system, you really only get around 3 to 4 gigabytes of storage. That's pretty brutal. Why you don't put at least 16 gigabytes on this, I don't know. You already went through the effort to put Android TV on it. It's a great operating system, and then you cheap out on the storage. Not a great move. A major claim I knew I was going to have to test on this is the brightness, because they really put forefront that you can use this both at night and then during the day with partial lights, because it has 900 lumens. So Let's check that out. I love when companies make claims because it makes my job super easy. I take that claim and I test it. It either works or it doesn't work. And one thing Wanbo stated is it works during the daytime. 900 lumens is pretty solid, and you should be able to comfortably watch it in this sort of environment. My blinds are half open. I'm getting nice daytime daylight coming in. So let's see how it shows up on a white wall in this kind of lighting. We have our giant white wall here. We're just gonna go ahead and plug our projector in. Now this is where that stand really comes in handy because we're able to adjust it just like this to get the perfect angle on this wall here. Okay, let's see how this works. I have to put it on my favorite creator again. Every year Ninja comes out with at least 3 products where I'm like, damn, I need to try that thing no matter the price. And this year is no exception. I already tested out the... Now, it looks okay. Is it watchable? Yes. Is this an enjoyable watching experience for any type of show that I'm actually into? No. Could I play video games on this? Not very well. But yes, it does work in this very low partial light during the day. Okay, I got a good idea to test out these lumens and see how close this really is to 900. This is the Orzen D1. I reviewed it a few months ago, or maybe it was like a year ago. Anyways, it is 350 lumens. Let's see how it compares in the exact same lighting. Another usefulness for this device, I was able to double stack the projectors. Talk about handy. At least 3 products where I'm like, damn, I need to try that thing no matter the price. And this year is no exception. I already tested out the Ninja Slushie a few months ago, but today... Okay, it really doesn't take much for me to see that although the Wanbo V1 is definitely brighter than this, the Orzen is only advertised as 350 lumens. That means that V1 should be almost 3 times brighter, and I frankly just don't see it. Let's do a little side-by-side right here. I'll get my editor to throw it in, where you can see the Wanbo right here on this side and the D1 right here. And you tell me, is there really that big of a difference? I just don't think so. Now let's see how this holds up in darker environments, because let's be honest, most of us do not buy a $200 projector to use it during the day. So I tested this out with 3 different lighting combinations that I think most of you at home will be using this on, playing the exact same video off bad tech. Our first one was just a little bit of ambient light. This includes some LEDs that are right next to my setup and also a light on in the back of the room. And with this more ambient lighting that's a little different from sunlight, it looks pretty good still. Yes, on the one side of the screen where all those lights are lit up, doesn't look perfect, but most of you aren't going to have them that close. Our next setup was just a little bit of light coming in through my basement. This isn't quite a pitch dark environment, but it's not the same as having it out in the daytime. And very similar results. It's vivid, it's nice and clear, and the 1080p really stands out. Lastly, complete pitch dark brightness. And yes, this is where the projector really shines the most. It looks great. Honestly, this is a projector I could use all the time at night and be pretty satisfied with the results. One thing I was pretty impressed with throughout this testing was the stand itself. Yes, you can still hook it up to a ceiling mount, no problem. It has the little attachment at the bottom, but you can also literally just project this on your ceiling. And it was pretty cool to do. I flipped it up and I was able to play some different stars and space stuff. You know, if you just want to lay down and watch a show or a movie in your bed, it's a pretty good option. So that's something unique that I haven't seen in a lot of other projectors, if any, to be honest. Let's talk video quality, because this is a full HD 1080p projector. Unfortunately, not equipped with HDR, so it's not going to be quite as vivid as projectors that are HDR, right? You get a little bit more color, a little bit more vibrance, a little bit more lifelike. I can't say I have a lot of complaints about the quality. Yeah, it's not 4K. Don't expect it to look amazing, but it looks pretty solid and really great, especially, again, in the dark. I wouldn't say it's the best looking video quality I've ever seen in a projector, but it's like $200 and something. You just can't set your expectations too high. I did also want to test the obstacle avoidance, and in order to do this, I first set up my projector screen and moved my one monitor in the way. Now this is with the obstacle avoidance off. You can see the screen doesn't adjust at all and it projects directly on that empty monitor screen. When I went and turned on avoidance inside of settings, readjusted the projector, you can see the screen goes as small as it needs to without any obstacles getting in the way. So this is great for your living room if you have like a picture frame set up and you just need it to go on one section of the wall. That way you're maximizing the full amount of available space. I do respect Wanbo for this. It's a 130-inch screen, and yeah, it looks great up to 130 inches. A lot of projector companies will say, hey, it goes up to 200 inches. And sure, they can go up to 200 inches. It just won't look very good. So respect to them for that. Audio is something I really care about with these all-in-one projectors because these companies always put it as a complete home theater experience. But often the speaker quality is almost unusable. In this case, they advertise 12-watt speakers. Well, it's actually 2 times 6 watts with a digital power amplifier. And I have to say, the audio quality is pretty good. Sure, if you had an external soundbar, would you want to hook it up to improve that experience? Absolutely. But for what is built into it, it's pretty solid.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and
you can hear that, it's pretty clear. At max audio, I was getting a tiny bit of squeaking, but overall, I actually enjoyed it. So one last thing I wanted to point out, this is a pretty small detail, but I got this lens cap with it. This was like a test unit, so it could just be a faulty cap, but this cap is, and you guys let me know if you buy this projector, if you bought this projector and the cap has the cap just doesn't fit properly. Like it won't push in, right? It just always, it's loose and just falls out. I don't know. Small detail. Let's talk price. Right now, this is $219 on sale with their launch discount. Regular price, you're looking in that $289 to $279 range. Their website says $279, but in the email they said $289. I have a feeling this was a projector that's going to be constantly on sale, whether it's $20 to $40. So you'll probably almost always get a deal on this. Like always, I've included any coupon codes and the purchase link down below in the description and in the comments section. There's a lot to like about this projector. I think it's a pretty high quality build. I like the stand, I like the power integration. I think the video quality could be better. Sure, it's full HD. It could have HDR. And the brightness. If you say you can use your projector during the day, make sure you can actually use it during the day, because from my testing, not necessarily the case. I am a little skeptical that this is a true 900 lumen projector. I've tested 900 lumens and I tell you, they typically look a little better than this. So is this good or bad tech? Because this is ultimately my recommendation on whether I suggest you should purchase it. I am super picky on projectors because there's just so many in the same price range, and a lot of companies just throw out random specs without backing it up with a good product. And despite everything I liked about this, I just think it's bad tech. Like sure, if you purchased it, you would be probably happy with it, but there is just way better options on the market, even for like $20 cheaper. Take for instance the Orzen Boom, a projector I reviewed around a year ago. It's usually on sale for around $200. It has better video quality. It only has 500 lumens, but looks just as bright. And that's just one example of the hundreds of projectors that I just don't think this stands out enough for me to fully recommend it. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Like always, the best way to support the channel is hitting the subscribe button right down below. We have some big reviews coming up, including a Eufy deadbolt lock that reads your palm to unlock your door. I can't wait for that one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.